morning. We are going to work the core today. We're going to cover it from all angles. We're going to start here, standing. So let's just plant your feet down into the floor, put that micro bend into your knees, and then reach through the crown of your head, making your neck long, and just starting to just observe where your ribs and hips are sitting. You want to have those ribs sitting right over top of the hips, nice and flush. And let's put some fists into our hands and reach your knuckles down into the floor. So it's like you're trying to make that neck just a little bit longer. And we're going to start to move with the right arm, big circle forward. All by itself, we're going to keep that energy in the left arm and keep the shoulders pulling down away from the ear. One more time forward, pause there, and let's go backwards with that right arm. And we've got just tons of energy in the arms right now. Letting that go, putting that arm down. Now keep the energy and let's go forward with the left arm. Big and wide. Got a fist in your hand and you're reaching those knuckles down to the floor as you pull around. Nice. And let's go the other way as well. The right fingers or right knuckles are just pushing down into the floor. Nice. And let's finish there. Now both knuckles are pushing into the floor. Nod your chin. And let's circle the neck. Look to the right. Drop the right ears. Circle around until you're looking left and drag your chin across. Right. The ear drops. Chin floats. Keep those knuckles reaching to the floor. Let's go to the left for 2. And finishing with our chin to chest, getting nice and tall. Bend your elbows and just gently roll through your shoulder blades, mobilizing that mid-back, squeezing back up to the ears, pulling it around. And the other way as well, up to the ears, forward, down, and back. Awesome. And let's let that go. Release your hands, shake them out. And we're going to come into our first forward fold. Nod through the chin and roll down. Hollow out through the tummy, drawing upwards, ragdolling down. Lifting the sit bones, lifting the tummy, halfway lift. Find your halfway lift and hold. And exhale, soften. Inhale, halfway lift. Feel the hamstrings, keeping that bend in your knees. Exhale, fold. Last one. Halfway lift. We're going to hold here for a breath cycle, just staying up. And think about squeezing your shoulder blades on your back. And let's soften. Take a big breath into your lower back and ragdoll up. Slowly, slowly coming through the legs and then stacking the pelvis, the spine, the head and shoulders, and rolling that out. We're going to come into a single leg stance. So press into your left foot, bring your right foot up bent here and balance. You can put your hands to heart center if that makes you feel more centered. And we're just going to extend this long leg and bend it. Extend it, finding the quad, and bend it. And out, and in. Can you really squeeze that left glute? Push into the floor with your left foot. Firing up the quad 3 more times. 3, 2, can we drop a little shoulder tension? And last one, hold it out there, circle your ankle. Really fire that quad up. You should feel your hip flexor. And let's go the other way with the ankle. And let that go, shake it off. We're going to come up to the other side, bend that leg. Hands to heart center. Let's drop the left hip down to the floor just a little bit And then start your extending and bending. We're pushing down with the right foot. Staying tall here. Finding that whole quad. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it out there. Circle your ankle. Keep that quad firing. Reach through the leg. Go both directions with your ankle. And let that go. Shake it off. All right, we're going to start to get a little more dynamic. Hands will come back to your heart center here. You're going to step back with your right foot into a lunge. Both knees are bent. We're going to rotate around our belly button, around the front thigh. Come back to center and stand tall, switching legs. The left leg back, both knees are bent. We rotate over the right. Come back to center. Stand tall, and we're just going to alternate between sides. Exhale as you twist. Inhale, center, and stand. Back, rotate. So I want to stay really tall here. That idea of keeping the ribs stacked right on top of the hips. As we rotate, the upper body moves, the lower body stays the same. And again, rotate around. Feel your sternum turn, standing tall. And center, and standing tall. Nice work. Back to center. And 1 more each leg. Center. And last one. Come back to center. Find your chair pose. Floating the arms, finding the legs here. Reaching your spine nice and long. We're holding and breathing. Can we drop those shoulder blades into the back pockets? Little pulses. Pick up your toes and just continue to pulse, making sure the weight is distributed nicely in the feet. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Letting that go, shaking it off. Let's come to the end of your mat. We're going to forward fold, and from there we'll walk out into a downward dog. Nod the chin and roll yourself down. Lead with the top of the head, shoulders follow. Spine is tipping over. Take a breath at the bottom and make your way, walking your hands out until you're in that nice triangle shape. And let's just pedal the feet here. We're going to bring the creases of the elbows just a little bit forward. Connect with your shoulder blades. Breathing deeply. Can you lift your sit bones a little higher and dig your fingertips into the floor? Let's bring both heels to the floor. 5 counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower your knees. And let's take our first shell. Child's pose. Rest your head, release your body. Big breaths in and out. All right, and we're going to come to all fours. I'm going to take you through a little combination move, okay? So from here, we're going to be pulling back into a rotation. And it looks like this. We're going to pull back right, look over your shoulder, place your hand down. Pull back left, place your hand down. Tuck up into downward dog. And from here, one leg reaches and down. The other leg reaches and down. We lower the knees and we continue on in that pattern. Okay? Let's start long spine, toes are tucked. lifting through your tummy. Let's start with that rotation right. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. Exhale, pull back. And center, tucking the toes, lifting the sit bones. Find your downward dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, right leg reaches, stay parallel. And left leg reaches. Lower the knees, get right back into it. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. And again, left. And center, tucking the toes, lifting the sit bones. Long spine here. Right leg, keep that big toe turned in slightly. So you're not letting that hip turn out into external rotation. We lower the knees. Keep it going. The spine is long, the core is on. Big exhale, find that downward dog. Inhale to hold. Check your neck, check your shoulders, and then leg lift. Leg lift. And lowering down. We have 4 more rounds. Big breath in, exhale, downward dog. Big breath, check your shoulders, check your neck. Lift. Lift. Lower the knees, nice and quiet, squaring back up. Downward dog. Taking that breath, adjusting the upper body. And lowering the knees, you guys. 2 more rounds. Keep it up. Keep that core connected. Can you lift your belly button just a little closer? Last round. Rotate. Rotate. Downward dog. Leg lift. Leg lift. Lower the knees and take a shell. Heartbeat should be up. Couple big breaths here before we get into some all fours. Let's turn our wrists. And go both directions. And then meeting me in a nice square all fours position. Let's take the right arm long and the left leg back behind you. From here, we're opening the right arm to the right and the left leg to the left. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, open. Inhale, center. Let's dig those fingertips of the left hand into the floor. Keep reaching your head long, your neck long. Exhale, out. Inhale, center. And center. Let's do 4 more. Keep pushing up through that left shoulder. You're in the center of the right knee. 3, 2, and last one. Come to center, come off your hands, back to shell just momentarily. And then we're going to put that left arm down, the left leg reaches. So we've got the right hand is going to come here behind your ear. We're propped up on the left forearm and the left toes, long leg. We're going to open into a nice big rotation. Inhale, come back to center, touch your elbow to the floor. Exhale, open. And down. So the trick here is trying to maintain some space between the right shoulder and the right ear. Are you still reaching through your left leg? The glute should be on, that left leg should be really firing. And we're really pressing up through this left elbow and forearm. Rotate, awesome for the upper back here. And let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Exhale, open. Inhale down, come to both forearms. Shake it out and find balance in your forearms. The left leg lifts and lowers. Just straight up and down, nice and parallel. The kneecap is straight down at the floor, towards the floor. And let's just focus here on our breathing and finding your abdominals. And let's do 3 more lifts. 3, 2, let's check those shoulders, press down through the floor, and 1. Letting that go, taking your child's pose. Big breaths. And before we do the other side, we're coming all the way down onto your tummy. Arms and legs are both long. We can let the legs turn out a little bit if that feels comfy. You can just wiggle your hips until your pelvis feels good. All right, and from here, we're gonna go into some Superman. So we're gonna be lifting everything off the floor. Let's drop those shoulders a little bit away from the ears. As we exhale, the arms and the legs come up. Inhale, we lower. If you're feeling your lower back at all, don't lift as high, and activate your core more on the front side. Everything floats, everything lowers. So we're anchored by our strong core and our strong back, our glutes working hard to support us. And down. And let's just check into that shoulder and ear connection, making sure they haven't crept up too high. Keep reaching a line of tension through your fingertips and through your toes. We're going to hold up here and start to swim. It's a flutter with the arms and a flutter with the legs. Long, deep breaths here. You're just going to go at your own pace. The point of this exercise is to move your arms and legs quickly while you breathe long and slow. It feels a little silly or uncoordinated. That's normal. Let's do 2 more long breaths. Keep it up. One more. Release everything and just wiggle your hips. Let's rest our head on our hands for a moment. Whew. And then drag your arms out wide to cactus arm. And let's just find some baby cobras. Floating the body up, the upper body up, keeping the rib cage on the floor. Look forward and reach with your collarbone. And then release down. Turning on the legs, turning on the core, and float up. Nice big extension. Let's hold here and push your elbows down into the floor. And then lower. Let's do 2 more. Squeeze the legs. Float up, pushing those arms right into the floor, dragging them towards your hips. And down. It's like a floor drag. You're not going anywhere, but you've got the intention to drag down. Pull up. Nice and extended. We're staying up here for 2 breath cycles. Notice your rib cage, notice your abdominals. Visualize that dragging of your elbows towards your hips. And let's let that go. We're pushing all the way through to shell. Just taking a moment before we do the other side in our all fours. And let's meet there square. So now the right arm is going to be the standing arm. We're in the center of our left knee, and let's reach the left arm and the right leg. We're gonna open on the exhale. Inhale, come back parallel. Exhale, lateral. Inhale, parallel. Your belly button stays in the exact same spot, and your neck is continuously reaching. It's in line with your spine. We're not gonna let our head drop here. Exhale, open. Can you dig your fingertips into the floor? And back. Let's do 4 more here. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Keep pushing up through that standing arm, letting that go, coming down onto your right forearm now. Right leg reaches. So there's tons of work happening in that right leg, okay? We're not gonna let it be idle. We're not gonna let it just lower to the floor. We're gonna keep it lifted. The left hand goes behind. I'm gonna just turn so you can see me a bit better. The left hand goes behind the head. We're pushing up and we're rotating open. We're twisting around our belly button. Touch your elbow to the floor and exhale, open. Nice work. Can you push up through this right shoulder just a little bit more? And can you drop the left shoulder away from the ear so there's more space there between the ear and the shoulder? Awesome job. Let's do 4 more. Keep reaching through that right leg. 3, 2, and last one. Great job. Forearms both on the floor. You just might have to shake it out for a minute to equalize the pressure in both forearms. The right leg lifts and lowers. We're staying super square here. That big toe is pulling in, a little pigeon-toed. If you feel like your hip wants to open, try to keep it nice and straight. And let's release some neck tension by bringing the chin just a little bit down towards the chest. Working our glute here, working our hamstring. Can you lift your low abdominals? Really focus on them and keep them connected. And let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and last one. Letting that go. Find your shell stretch. Oh my goodness, we're finally heading down to our back. Coming down. And let's put the knees bent, feet planted to start. Now once you get here, just rock your pelvis into imprint and release it. And just notice your lower spine, those very, very last few vertebrae at the bottom of your spine. Making sure it's your obliques that are moving you. It's not just your bum kicking up underneath. And let's settle in to our neutral pelvis. The arms are at your side. And I want you just to reach your fingertips towards your heels before we do anything. Just finding that space, that long neck, space between the ear and the shoulder. Let's nod the chin, and as we exhale, flex up into an ab prep. Your arms come up into the air and reach. Inhale, we hold. And exhale, we lower everything. So it's just this like little non-satisfying sit-up, okay? We're just moving the upper part of our spine. The lower spine stays the same. Nod your chin, set your shoulders, reach through your fingertips as you flex that upper spine up. You look at your thighs. Inhale, we hold. And exhale, we lower. If we bring our eyes to the ceiling, you're going to start to feel your neck right away. So keep the eyes on the thighs. We're coming up to hold here. Nod the chin, set the shoulders, and we're back up. Take a big breath in. We're going to circle our arms. We're holding this position. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, circle around. The eyes stay on the thighs. Don't let your arms go too far behind you. In fact, keep them at the height of your ears. One more, sweep and pull, hold. And let's lower down, release. If you need to, look side to side to release your neck tension. We're going to do the other direction. So let's find ourselves reaching, coming to find that ab prep. Exhale your way up. We hold. This time the arms go out and they circle forward. Out at the height of your ear, so not behind you, but just beside you. And you're pushing the arms down. Keep that chin tucked. See if you can activate that upper abdominal to draw the rib cage down just a little bit. One more time. And letting that go. And again, look side to side and release your neck tension. We're going to come into our butterfly legs, letting the thighs fall open, the feet are together. And let's place the hands behind the head, clasp them. And this is just going to be some tiny little crunches with the upper abdominals. And we're just going to really observe the shape that we create when we go here. So we're going to try to stay as neutral as you can in your pelvis. Let's nod the chin and flex up just the upper spine. Looking over the legs. Inhale, lower. Just a one breath. Exhale, up. Inhale, down. And notice that as we flex up, the front of our rib cage drops down towards the spine. Exhale, up. Inhale, down. Can you release any extra tension in your glutes that you don't need? The hips might be clenching. You're going to try to allow that muscle to release a little. And let's stay up to hold. Keep staying. Tiny little pulses for 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering down, releasing the arms. Whew. And from here, we're going to be using our weights. So let's grab those. And then come back onto your back and bring the elbows back to the floor. So you're holding each dumbbell in your hands. And your backs of your arms and your elbows are on the floor and the weights are kind of floating up here in the air. Let's find a nice strong imprint. And bring the legs up to tabletop, nice and square. So be mindful that your knees aren't too close to your chest. We want to have them as square as we can for this one, okay? So here we are, we're holding, already there should be a little bit of work in the core here. Can we draw the belly inwards just a little bit? And we're going to take the right arm and the right leg, so it's the same side. We're going to push the arm out, reach the leg out, and bend them down, and switch sides. Big exhale. And now you can create more challenge by sending the leg on more of an angle out, reaching it away from you, or to make it easier, you just keep it straight up. So you reach it straight up if that's what you're going for. Or if you want to challenge it, send it on a slight angle. I keep my foot flexed. Big exhale. And let's pause here, actually finish one more. Pause here and float just the arms. And now we're going to go into some bicycle kick or single leg stretch legs, and we're just reaching side to side. The head is down, the imprint is solid. Reach, and again, I keep my feet flexed because that makes me feel stronger, but if you wanted to point your toes, that would be totally fine. Let's go for 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring those knees in and give them a little hug. Roll on your lower back. And then we're going to change the angle here. Let's bring the legs out just nice and long for a moment. Just let them rest. And we're going to change the angle of the arms to a chest press. So now that you're holding the weights with your palms facing away from you. Your knuckles are still up to the ceiling. But we're going to be pressing up with the arms like this, okay, into our chest press. But we're going to add on some ab work by coming back to your imprint, keeping your knees bent here so the legs will continuously stay this exact same shape, okay? And then as we press, we're going to toe tap with one leg and lower, the knee comes up, then the other side toe taps and back. And so the leg is staying the exact same shape. Big exhale. Just think about our lowest abdominals. 2 more on each leg. Last 2. Last 1. Letting that go. We're coming up into bridge. So let's take these weights and put them right on the front of your hips. And you're still holding them, but you're just going to rest them on your hips. And then maybe drag your heels towards your bum just a little bit. We're going to be pushing up into our bridge with the weights on our hips, lifting our heels, lowering the heels, lowering the bum. Okay, so let's go through that together. Imagine you're holding a block between your knees. Big breath. Exhale, lifting the hips, lifting your heels, lowering and lowering. So the trick here is to keep your belly button drawing down. Even when we have the hips in the air, lift the heels, lower and lower. Exhale, press, heels, lower and lower. Can you find that imaginary block between your knees? And keep the belly button gently reaching downwards so that there's work happening on the front side of your body. Nice and slow and controlled here. Let's do 4 more. Nice parallel thighs. Last 2. And last 1. Let that go. Great work. Let's just put the weights off to the side. Let's do a nice big full stretch. Reach your legs out, reach your arms out, allow your rib cage to pop forward and just take a nice big breath. And releasing that, turning off to your side. So we're coming onto the right side to start. And we're going to keep our head down. So if you want to put a cushion there, if you happen to have one sitting right there, you could throw your cushion under your head for support. The weights are done, so you can move those out of the way. And then we're coming down onto your right side. We're going to keep the bottom knee bent for now. And the top leg is going to be the mover. So let's reach this leg out, straight out of the hip, and we're just holding it, getting it really active. And let's point the toe, draw the belly button just a little bit closer, and start some tiny little circles, like your toes are the end of a pencil, and you're trying to draw tiny little circles with your toes. Reaching straight out from the hip, and you're creating tons of energy in that leg. Huge line of tension right from the hip all the way through every single toe. Let's pause there and go the other way. And let's do 5 more. 5, keep reaching. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let that go. Whew, my little foot starts to shake. And we're going to release that, letting both legs now go long. I call this a box kick. So I want you to visualize that your feet are in a rectangular box. So long on 2 sides, short on 2 sides, okay, a rectangle. And we're going to be hovering these legs up, and we're going to do some kicking. And I want you to imagine that each time your feet go apart, one foot is kicking the front of the box, one foot is kicking the back of the box, okay? So this is not a super fast flutter. This is just a kick, and imagining that your feet are in that box and kicking each end. So the bottom leg is the tough one. It's hard to get that bottom leg back. Make sure you feel like you're stacked on your hips. Nice. And now if you want a challenge, you can add the arm into the air, the top arm. We're really drawing through the legs, through the abdominals, and just continuing to kick. You might feel a little wobbly. Get that back of the box. And let's go for 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, letting that go. Let's tip this top leg over and just give your bum a little bit of love. Perfect, and then coming up to seated, flipping over to the other side. And we have to repeat all of that on the other side. Okay, so bottom knee is bent to start. Before we do anything, just find your abdominals here. Draw that belly button a little closer. Lengthen your spine. So you don't want to be curled up in a ball here like little fetal position. You want to be long in the spine. Reach that leg out and start to point your toe, creating the energy here in the leg. Keep reaching, and now we'll start to circle. Tiny little circles. It doesn't matter which way because we're going to do both. And just visualize every single turn, your leg is getting a little bit longer. You're reaching it right out of the hip joint. Make sure you get the back of that circle. They're not very big. Keep firing that leg up on all sides. Let's go the other way. Whew. Make sure you're getting the back of that circle. 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Letting that go. Reaching both legs out long. Just have a visual on that idea of a long rectangular box. And start with your top hand for balance. Coming up until you're hovered, and then you're going to start your kicking. One side can feel easier than the other, so just work with what you've got here. Keep your legs nice and straight, And imagine trying to touch the end of the box with each foot, with each move. Can you bring your belly button in just a little? Keep reaching through the legs. And let's challenge ourselves by bringing that top arm up. The bottom arm can be bent or long, whichever feels right. Keep breathing long, deep breaths here. Great work, you guys. And let's do 6 more. 6, 5, 4. Get that back of the box. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Let that go and give your bum a little bit of love. Let that leg tip over. And from here, we're stretching. We're going to just tip right over and back to our shell stretch, all fours. So come all the way around. Find that shell stretch. Open your thighs. Drop your tummy and your chest down. Your forehead rests. Breathe deeply into your lower back here. And then coming out to all fours, we're going to come into our big rotation shoulder stretch. Open into that rotation. Thread the arm through. Rest the arm. Rest the head. And then if you want to get a little more, you can bring this other arm up or leave it here down beside your face. Either one. You're going to get a nice twist here. We're stretching through the back of the bottom shoulder. If you want to push that arm into the floor a little bit, that feels good. And just breathing. And let's press down through the top hand into the floor, coming all the way out, finding that thoracic rotation. And then let's do the other side. Big opening. Rotate through, rest your head and arm. And then if you want to, you open the top arm, or you just keep your hand here beside your face. Breathing into this bottom shoulder. Can you release that shoulder into the floor a little bit, like adding a little bit of weight downwards through the shoulder. And then placing that hand down, we're going to come through, finishing with that big rotation. And then coming back to all fours and sitting on your cushion and crossing the legs or butterfly, either or. So if it doesn't feel good to cross, then just bring the feet together. That's totally fine. And then from here, we're going to send ourselves into a forward fold, leaving the legs heavy on your cushion and the sit bones heavy on your cushion. You should feel some stretch, hopefully, through the hips. Just breathing deeply and trying to root down with the pelvis as the spine reaches out. Chin to chest, pushing your hands into the floor. And then walking your hands up to tall and switch, reversing the legs if you crossed. If you just did butterfly, then just stay in butterfly and we'll do it again. And you go back out now with the legs crossed the opposite way. And same thing here, tuck the chin to the chest. Push your hands into the floor. Draw the belly button up just a little. Support your back. Then releasing that, coming up to seated. We are all finished. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for such a great session, for joining me. This was the last 6 weeks before, or for the summer, and then I'll probably bring it back in the fall if people are interested. So I'll keep you in the loop. All right, but thank you so much for being here. Take care, guys.